Hi, I'm Teresa Wright, and welcome to Keep Monterey County Moving. Next month, coast to coast across our nation, communities will be celebrating Bike Month, and we will be doing the same here. Started about 60 years ago by the League of American Bicyclists, Bike Month is a chance to showcase bicycling, the benefits of it, and then hopefully encourage other people to try it. So, with that in mind, I am going to introduce to you my guests who are here today because we hope that when you learn a little bit about what we're planning in our local community, you might be inspired to try bicycling. So let me introduce my first guest who is here. This is Ariana Green, who is one of my coworkers. And Ariana, thank you so much for being on the show. You are Associate Transportation Planner, and you and I know that a lot of times when you think of transportation, most people, what they think of are roads and roads that are made for cars and trucks and things of that sort. So I want you to talk a little bit about why it's more than just that. So talk about complete streets and what the need is in our community.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on the show, Teresa. And first of all, I just wanted to say, as a public agency, we're not only interested in getting people from point A to point B, but how they get there.
Right.
Right. So we celebrate bicycling during Bike Month because it's an awesome mode of transportation.
Yeah.
It's not only a healthy form of exercise, but it's affordable. It's good for the environment, and let's face it, it's much more fun than sitting in traffic.
So part of the need is that, you and I understand that. And I think when you explain it that way, people get it. But you've got to have the infrastructure in place in order to make that happen. So we've got a photo. I'm going to ask them a couple of photos to put up on the screen. And this sort of addresses the need about infrastructure. So let's start with the first one. There's a photo of bicyclists and a couple that are walking on the street, North Fremont Street in Monterey. So as they put that up on the screen, talk about why infrastructure is so important here. Because what does this illustrate?
Yeah. So this photo illustrates the cyclists and pedestrians not having a dedicated space on the street. And getting that space is really the first step to encouraging more people to bike and walk.
Right.
One of the biggest barriers to bicycling is this fear of riding with cars or even next to cars.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why we're seeing more and more protected bicycle lanes. So this is a newer design where the bicyclists actually have some physical separation between them and the cars. And what's exciting is that we're going to be seeing some of these popping up around the county, projects that our agency has supported on East Market Street and Alisal in Salinas, on Imjin Parkway Marina, and North Fremont in Monterey, which is where that picture was taken. So we're going to start seeing some better infrastructure for bicyclists, which is, again, the first step towards encouraging more ridership.
So can you also explain, and we don't have a picture of it here, but a lot of people have asked, what are those green stripes that are on some of the roadways locally?
Sure.
So can you explain what that is?
Yeah, well, we do have some green bicycle lanes on Imjin Parkway and Marina and in some other roads in the county. And the green paint is really to make the bike lanes stand out to drivers and also to cyclists.
Right.
And it's just a reminder that for people to share the road, and that the road is for multiple users, not just for cars.
Okay, so what are you excited about in terms of the infrastructure that you see going forth in Monterey County, and then also what's being planned for Bike Month?
Sure, yeah. So one of the most exciting projects I think that's coming up is the Fort Ord Recreation Trail and Greenway project. And this is a 30 miles of dedicated paved trail, much like the rec trail that goes through Monterey.
So we have a map, we'll put it up, and then you can describe that.
Yeah.
Because it is exciting. What I love about that project is that the two professors who are working on that at CSUMB sort of designed it around the San Francisco Regional Park, Trail. I mean, that's exciting to me. So tell people what they see here.
Right. So it's a lot of lines on a map, but The trail is in dark green, and there are actually 3 loops. One loop that goes around Marina, one loop that goes around CSUMB, and one loop that goes around Seaside and also connects to Delray Oaks.
Right.
And these loops also connect to the existing trail along the Monterey Bay, which is really cool. So what this trail network is going to do is it's going to connect all these communities with a trail that's accessible for people of all ages and abilities.
Right.
So a toddler on a tricycle could ride this trail. Someone in a wheelchair could ride this trail and have access to the beach, the Fort Ord National Monument, and jobs and housing in all of those communities that I just mentioned.
You know, and not only jobs and housing, but the fact that this gives folks an opportunity to be out. I mean, we live in a beautiful place, and that's the allure for a lot of people staying here, and not have accessibility and to be able to get out and enjoy it, along with just, as you said, the basic health benefits.
Yeah.
That's an exciting project.
It is.
So tell me about Bike Month. There are lots of things that you are helping to pull together. So tell us what's exciting about it, and also talk a little bit the next guests that are going to be in this show, because they're a big part of Bike Month. So tell me about Bike Month.
Sure. So I brought a poster. We have a very colorful poster this year. It's really fun. And our agency, the transportation agency, puts together a listing of events that happen during Bike Month, which is in May.
Yes.
And there's a number of events. There's something for everyone, for people of all ages, but I'll highlight 3 that we're involved with.
Okay.
So the first one is the TAMC Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee meeting. We're having a special meeting on May 3rd. It starts at 6 p.m. and we're going to do a bicycle safety training. Any member of the public is invited to attend, and we'll be giving out some free safety gear. So there's an incentive there. We're also going to be doing some safety trainings at the Cesar Chavez Library in Salinas on May 10th, and that's for kids primarily, and then the King City Public Library on May 17th.
Right.
And we're also going to be giving away some free safety gear there too.
Okay. All right. And if anybody wanted any information about any of this stuff, whether it's Bike Month or just in general, like what the kinds of work that we're doing, they can go obviously to our website.
Yes, they can go online to tamcmonterey.org.
Right. Okay. So is there anything that you want to cover in terms of saying something a little bit about the profiles that are going to be coming out?
Yes. So we're working with the Monterey County Weekly to highlight some projects and people that are making a difference in bicycling in our county. And we actually have a couple of your guests coming up are profiled, and those will be coming out every week through Bike Month. Okay.
So as we went, and you and I sort of worked together a little bit on the profile. So as we went forward and sort of identified some of the community people that we wanted to profile, what did you find that was enlightening or inspiring about what they're doing?
Oh man, I'm just inspired by people who are volunteering their time to make a difference in their community.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these projects and programs are grassroots efforts that have then been supported by our agency and other agencies to grow. But they're really, most of them have been started by people who saw a need, either for their own children or family or just for their community, and they went out there and did something about it. So I think that's the most inspiring thing.
Well, on that note, I'm just very happy that you sort of helped lay the foundation, because I want to introduce 2 people who are very much volunteering and making a difference in our community. So Ariane, I want to thank you for being here. We're going to go to the break, and as we do, we will put up information again about Bike Month, and we'll take a short break, and we'll come back, and we'll introduce you to some of those folks who are very inspiring.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Okay.
Teresa.
You're welcome. Hi, welcome back to the program. My next guest is Mindy Surratt. And I have to tell you, Mindy, welcome to the program. And I have to tell you, when I first heard about you, Ariana and I, we were looking at profiles and she was telling me about what you do. And I got all excited about it. I thought, that's such a cool program. And then I mentioned it to somebody else and they said, you know what? I think that's the lady that I see on the rec trail all the time running barefoot and where her kids are biking. So that was my introduction to who you are.
That is me.
Well,
I'm
thank
a little
you.
conspicuous.
Yes, you are. But seriously, I want to thank you for being here.
Yeah,
and you did something that was just really inspiring and very cool and out of what you saw as a need, and then it's grown. So first of all, tell people about what you do every day with your kids during the school year. Go ahead.
We don't drive to school. We pretty much every day the kids either run or bike or scooter or skateboard to school. And starting out when my daughter was in kindergarten, I was starting to hear the beginnings of why can't we just drive like everyone else? So I decided to nip that in the bud quickly.
Yes, Mom.
So I started up a program at school where we tried to get other people to bike as well.
Right.
Because I figured if all their friends were doing it, they wouldn't think it was weird and they'd be happy to do it.
Right.
And all the other kids love, they love to be involved.
Yeah. So it started out with just you and your kids and maybe a couple of their friends, right? And from that, what has it grown into?
Well, so every Friday there's a group that gets together, and that ranges anywhere from like 1 or 2 kids when it's raining.
Right.
So we'll have 15 kids that show up on a Friday to ride with us to school.
So we should tell folks that this is what is it, Bayview Academy? What's the program?
So it's Bayview Academy Charter School, and it's the Walk and Roll to School program.
All right. It's the Walk and Roll to School program, which you inspired.
Yeah.
So once a month. Right.
So once a month we have an event where we'll have Mike Baroni of Green Petal Couriers and Off the Grid Smoothies. He'll come and blend smoothies for the kids after school, and we just have stickers to hand out, and we get some giveaways from TAMC and also the city of Monterey will give us the stuff that we can give away to the kids. So it's the third Friday of every month we do that, and that just and Peninsula Produce also donates fruit every month for us to hand out.
So I want people to get a sense of the story because the full story hasn't come out yet. So you started out with your children and a couple of their friends. It's evolved to where sometimes a large group of kids will want to join once a month. You've not even got some of the teachers involved, right?
Yeah, we have probably almost half of